Hey guys, it's Ted Possible or Mr. Possible. I had planned on sharing a video yesterday of game day and going to the casino and playing poker and maybe doing some videos during the day. I was pretty energized in the beginning of the day, but that soon fizzled out, and I think it's important to share all of the aspects of my life. And it's a great opportunity. It's not all sunshine and roses. So here it is. Yesterday, I got up early, decided I was going to play a poker tournament, got ready, packed my bags. I always stay in a hotel so I'm prepared so that I can do my 75 hard because I have 2 workouts per day. I have to eat right and drink water. I drove the hour and a half to Maryland Live, which is a casino in Maryland, and I was feeling pretty good. But pretty much as soon as I sat down at the table, a sense of fatigue hit me. No idea where it came from, whether it was mental or physical, but I played through it and was quite successful. Although I did make some what I would consider very basic mistakes. Now, anybody watching would be like, "Oh, that's just a cooler," which means like it's unavoidable. But I know it's not I know it's avoidable. I know how to operate in those spots like nobody else does. I know what I'm capable of. So it was, I busted out of the tournament early, which I don't usually do. I usually run super deep, 5, 6, 7 hours deep. It was 2 hours, and I was pretty much exhausted, even though I'd set up in the middle of the tournament. I think I was in for 2 or 3 hours. I had set up a meal ahead of time. I have an app, and I ordered ahead of time. I get a 15-minute break, ran there, ate all the normal food. I just felt exhausted. And I had went to bed like I think 11 o'clock the previous night, woken up at my normal 4:30. But with the exhaustion comes the doubt. So I decided to push through that and play some cash. And in the cash game, I wasn't my normal self. I was very quiet. In fact, I was quiet in the tournament and I was quiet in the cash game. I was overly aggressive in the cash game, so I ended up breaking even, meaning that I didn't lose any money. I made a small profit. I was overly aggressive, and then I was just completely exhausted. I went to a steak restaurant to try to get some food into my system to see if that would change something. I had some prime rib, and I tried to treat myself because my goals for the day were to play my relatively my daily goals were to play training poker, which I did, and also live poker, which I did. And those goals were accomplished. So regardless of the outcome, whether I won the tournament or whether, I made a lot of money in cash, my goals were still accomplished. So I try to reward myself in those situations, which I did by having a nice dinner. And when I spoke to my fiance during dinner, my mood had completely plummeted. I even said something to the effect of, "I'm exhausted. I don't know if I'll finish my second workout." I was 47 days into 75 hard, and I'm thinking about at this time that I might not even make my last workout. My fiance, of course, the person I turned to for encouragement, encouraged me, but it didn't set me afire. So I did go back and walk my hour on the treadmill. I did push myself to walk an hour on the treadmill. And then I went to my room and was gonna, I think, veg out and watch a movie, which is rare for me. But instead I fell asleep. I woke up this morning. I didn't even want to get out of bed. I woke up late, 6:30. I know that's not late for a lot of us, but it is for me. I usually get up at 4:30, not feeling very well. And I noticed like this sense of just despair in my mood. And it was, it was just, wow, like yesterday did not go the way I wanted it to go. And I'm just not going to get out of bed and, just not, why am I, doing this? And that's when I, decided that, hey, I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other, get up and brush my teeth and go through my normal routine. And I started to fill my cookie jar with cookies. And this is a concept that David Goggins talks about in Can't Hurt Me. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. And started to say, hey, you're the person they said couldn't drive. You're the person they said, was a systems operator, could never be in development. You're a person, who, did not have any kind of training in computers whatsoever and won Future Business Leaders of America Computer Concepts. This is who you are. This is when someone says you can't do it, this is what you do. And at that point, I decided that, okay, I wasn't going to go exercise because I just didn't feel like it. And instead of doing that, I reached into my, need to do list, which is 75 hard and, the things I need to do. And I picked reading 10 pages. So I read 10 pages of Do It Scared, which is a really great book by Ruth. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I think it's Suka. Sukup. So I read 10 pages plus of that book, and I said, you know what? I'm going to share this with the people out there because this is the real me. This is what happens. I do have days where there are valleys, and when you hit those valleys, you really got to rely on that cookie jar. You really got to go in the cookie jar and realize who you are. You are not what you do. You are who you are deep down inside. You are, your hardships and what you've overcome and the person that you are on a daily basis. That's who you are. And the thing about feelings are they're fickle. And, the best way to get over a feeling is through a feeling. And so I was, definitely melancholy, defeatist. All of these things were going through my head. And like I've said before, my greatest enemy is myself. But I can control how I respond. So after this video, I'm going to get up. I'm going to, get my workout clothes on. I'm going to go do my outside workout instead of my inside workout, which would be the easy thing to do. I'm in a hotel, so there's a gym. I'm going to go do my outside workout. It's about 39 degrees outside. I think that's going to give me a shot of energy. And then I'm going to go do it scared. I didn't play poker last weekend because I wasn't feeling very well. I think working out, I had hurt my shoulder a little bit. So I didn't play poker last weekend, which I think was a mistake. So I'm going to go play some more poker, and I'm going to, push towards that goal of being a professional poker player. I'm going to continue to do the steps daily that I've laid out. The big goal is professional poker player, motivational speaker. The short-term goals are, I got to play in so many tournaments a month. So I did play in a tournament yesterday, and that outcome doesn't matter because that outcome could have been winning. What matters is that I was in the tournament, I played, I trained, I studied, and I did what I said I'm going to do. So I'm once again going to play some live poker today. I'm going to train again today, and I'm going to continue to do those short-term goals, regardless of how I feel. Because I learned a long time ago, the feelings are fickle. Today you can feel like it's the end of the world, and tomorrow you can feel like the world is on fire. I mean, that's just, it's how it is. And so to remain in myself, to search deep in myself and find exactly who I am. And who I am is not my circumstances. Who I am is, the little boy who said, he was going to help people around him. The person who was married twice and, rebuilt themselves from the inside. The person who inspires people. A, 8-year software or 8-year operating system guy that turned into developer, even though he believed he was an imposter. He believed people would find out deep inside that was what my tape said from a lot of my childhood. A person who persevered through a lot of hardship. And I know my own hardship. Went through relationships with people that were not on my level. A lot of narcissistic relationships, a lot of abusive relationships that, I put myself into. I made very bad decisions, very poor decisions. A person who overcomes those poor decisions and just keeps trying, just keeps going, just keeps putting one foot in front of the other. That's who I am. That's Ted Possible. That's the very reason I am changing my last name, because I'm not, I'm not Ted Hickman. I'm Ted Possible, because anything is possible in my eyes. No matter how dark the tunnel is, there's always light on the other side. And that's where I am. The person who raised, two small children, a three-year-old and a 5-year-old, by himself, despite, friends saying they were going to help out, by himself. A person who took those 2 children to Disneyland at 3 and 5 years old and handled it through security. A father who changed his entire outlook on life to be conscious-based discipline, to talk to his kids about feelings and how they felt, and just turned the whole thing on its side, got close connections to his children. The hero of his daughter, that so much so that she decides to dress up as him for Halloween. That's who I am. That's the person I am. Not this person who is defeated because I didn't win a tournament, or because other people are getting ahead, or because I don't feel good, or because I'm tired. The drive and the fire within me. A person who decided that they were going to get their degree after giving up on it 20 years earlier, and do it in a record time of a year, and have very little support, and structure their day in such a way that it would be accomplished while working a full-time job and being a single father with full custody. That person doing it in 6 months and 24 days, even when experiencing an absolute devastating tragedy. I mean, just a person who perseveres and moves forward. And that's who I am. And that, people, is how you get through these valleys. You focus on your core, and you put those cookies in your cookie jar. You realize who you are, and you tell your little boy or your little girl who you are, who the adult you is. And you reassure them. And that's why I'm going to get up, I'm going to put on my clothes, and I'm going to go outside and walk in 39-degree weather, and I'm going to do my outdoor workout, and I'm going to check it off of 75 hard. That's why I'm going to complete all 75 days of the program. Not because I'm some superstar who's happy all the time, but because I am that person that persists through an abusive father, an alcoholic father who would come home every day and pass out on the steps or in the yard. And, someone that was in the Navy, and if you dropped an ice cube on the floor, it was the end of the world, who called you every name in the book because you couldn't hold an 80-pound piece of drywall above your head. The same person who, didn't know anything about finances, or had over $150,000 in debt and a 500 credit score, and raised their credit score to 800, and now is on his second home, bought his second home. That's who I am. Despite all of the naysayers, despite all of the people who said I couldn't do it, I did it because I reached down deep inside and I knew that I could do it. And you could do that too. You can reach down and know who you are. You can reject the premise of what other people say you are and know who you are. You know that determination is deep down inside of you, and reach down and realize who you are. Figure out what dream you want and make it happen. And that is who I am. I'm not a fluffy, happy-go person all the time. I'm very grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful for every opportunity. I was once asked the question by the person who bought my hosting company. And we were at a birthday party I threw at Morton's of Chicago and Reston, Virginia. I had many of my employees there, and I was asked this question. And the question was, Ted, if there's 4 or 5 things that you could, take back or you regret in life, what would they be? And before I was allowed to answer the question, I actually said a simple answer, much like I did in high school. I answered the question with, I would not. There are none. None was my word. And I'd used this word before, and I will tell you that story in a future video. And the new owner, the guy who was buying my company, stood up and said, I just think that is a ridiculous answer. There's things that I've done that are hurtful to other people, and I would take them all back. And I said, look, I've done things that are hurtful to other people, but I've learned off of that, and I've become a better person because of that. So I would not take them back. Am I absolutely mournful for the pain that I've caused people? Absolutely. but I would not take them back, because the person I am today is the person that I want to be. And I would not be that person if I took back my hardships. I would not be that person if I took back my struggles. I would not be that person if I took back the mistakes that are really the lessons of my life. So I want you guys that are got your head, down and you're in the dumps, to realize who you are and realize that you're that way for a reason. That there are lessons you have learned and that you have overcome. And then latch on to that. And realize that the feelings are going to come and go. It's going to be ups and downs. You're going to think you're on the top of the world and you're going to think you're on the bottom of the world. But none of that matters. You are who you are. And I am Mr. Possible. And I will continue to be that. No matter how bad the quality of my videos are, I will improve. I will get better. And I will be a professional poker player in 4.5 years. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate all of you, and I am so honored to have the opportunity to share this part of my life with you. Have a good one.